In the cold depths of a shattered star system, alien admirals watch Earth's battleship emerge like a ghost from myth. Their arrogance teeters on the edge of dread as they glimpse human technology far beyond legend. Silent, controlled, and lethal, humanity's arrival fractures their complacency. A single, chilling message from Earth threatens to unravel the galaxy's fragile power balance. Earth was never invited to the Council. The words echoed through the dimly lit command chamber. Of the Galactic flagship, shadows flickering over the polished obsidian walls. Admiral Vryn stared at the galactic display, his mandibles twitching in disbelief as the colossal silhouette of the battleship loomed out of the void. Outside, the shattered remnants of the Kethlan system stretched infinitely. Cold, dead, the ruins of a civilization, extinguished without so much as a whisper. The Galactic, proud rulers of this quadrant, had dismissed Earth for centuries as a backwater rock of primitive savages. Yet here it was, a massive warship, silent, but screaming with hidden power. Vryn's gaze flicked to his subordinates, their scaled faces pale. They come not as diplomats, but as executioners. The arrogance of the Council had always been their shield. They controlled trade, war, and alliances, manipulating lesser species like pawns. Earth was just another blip on their star charts. Until now, on board the human vessel, Captain Sienna Kale sat motionless in the command throne, her eyes cold pools reflecting the starfield. No words, no grand speech, only quiet. The ship's core pulsed with energy, ready to unleash devastation no one dared imagine. Outside the viewport, a symbol glowed faintly, the Earth emblem, a simple globe encircled by a ring of stars. It was a silent warning. Kale's voice cut through the silence, low and deadly. "You're not ready for what we buried beneath." Back in the Galactic chamber, alarms blared as scans revealed impossible technology. Quantum shields, layered nano-weave armor, weapons harnessing, gravitational collapse. The galaxy's greatest warships paled in comparison. "We underestimated them," Vryn hissed, eyes narrowing. "We thought they were alone." But they never looked underground. The grand war chamber of the Galactic flagship was suffocating with tension. Alien admirals paced in jagged, nervous steps, while holographic star maps spun lazily in the air, casting an eerie glow on their armored faces. Each point of light, every star, every planet, represented centuries of dominion, commerce, and unchallenged power. Yet now, all eyes were fixated on a single anomaly: Earth's battleship. The craft had vanished from sensors moments ago, swallowed in an impossible cloak of quantum stealth technology. The alien fleet systems, considered the pinnacle of detection, faltered before the human warship's silent advance. Commander Jarkor, his ridged brow creased with disbelief, shook his head. "How is this possible? Our best sensors are blind. They slip through us like shadows. We have long underestimated Earth," Admiral Vryn replied, voice taut with restrained fury. "Our arrogance has blinded us to a storm gathering beneath our feet." Whispers of disquiet spread through the ranks. The galaxy had scoffed at humanity for eons, primitive stone dwellers with basic spaceflight, barely worth a token skirmish in galactic history. But that had been before the secrets buried beneath Earth's surface had been unearthed. Weapons, technologies, knowledge far beyond the galaxy's grandest powers. Kyle, seated like a statue on the command throne of the battleship Aegis, felt no need to speak as alien chatter crackled over hacked channels. Her eyes were cold, observing the myriad of unread messages and encrypted pleas for parley. Humanity was not here to talk. It was here to command. The galaxy was beginning to understand what had arrived in their midst, not an emissary, not a challenger, but a reckoning. As the Aegis moved silently past debris fields and shattered worlds, the voice of Earth's captain finally cut through the quiet hum of the ship's systems. "They mistake our silence for weakness." Kyle murmured, almost to herself. But patience is a weapon sharper than any blade. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Commander Dax, nodded grimly. They are panicking. The Council has fractured. There are factions calling for immediate assault. Others beg for cautious diplomacy. Kyle allowed herself a faint smile. Let them argue. The galaxy's arrogance is their undoing. Far away, within the so-called Galactic Council, a sprawling complex orbiting the ancient star Zethar, the leaders convened a crisis session. Earth's warship breaches the outer perimeter without warning, reported High Commander Rilvac, his scaly fingers twitching nervously over the data consoles. We face an unprecedented threat. Councillor Myrthea, known for her sharp tongue and cold intellect, scoffed. A single ship, no matter how advanced, cannot threaten the entire galaxy. We must not give in to hysteria. Her words were met with muttered dissent. The Council had long thrived on fear, but now it was their fear that was being weaponized against them. A tense silence fell before Rilvac's voice sliced through it again. Sensors confirm Earth's ship is equipped with quantum shields and weapons beyond our understanding. It moves like a ghost, unstoppable and unreadable. The room erupted into chaos. Old rivalries and simmering grievances bubbled to the surface as council members clashed over the best course of action. Back aboard the Aegis, Kyle stood and strode to the large viewport, the swirling stars reflected in her dark eyes. They believe they can intimidate us with fleets and threats, she said quietly. But Earth has endured greater horrors. We bury our secrets well, and they will regret ever digging. Her mind flashed briefly to the vast underground complexes, repositories of ancient human innovation, hidden away for centuries beneath the surface. Weapons born from human ingenuity, honed by centuries of survival against impossible odds. Prepare the quantum disruptors, she ordered. Let's remind the galaxy what happens when they awaken the sleeping giant. The Aegis altered course toward the nearest command hub of the Jarthak fleet, a sprawling fortress orbiting the dead world of Kethlan Prime. Within the alien armada, panic flared as communication lines flickered and sensor arrays were scrambled by unseen pulses. The battleship's electronic warfare systems rendered entire sectors blind and deaf. Admiral Vryn gritted his teeth. They are rewriting the rules of engagement. We can no longer trust our own sensors or weapons. Our fleets are sailing blind into a storm. Elsewhere, among the Council's factions, whispers spread of conspiracy and treachery. Some accused the Krashan, a rival alien species, of leaking forbidden technology to Earth. Others suspected that ancient forbidden knowledge had been rediscovered on Earth itself. The primitive species is no longer primitive, hissed Myrthea in a private conversation with Vryn. They have become a cancer, and cancer spreads. Vryn's eyes darkened. Then it is time we excised it. Despite the mounting threat, the Aegis remained eerily calm. The crew moved with precision, each member a well-oiled cog in the deadly machine. Drones buzzed in tight formations, ready to deploy at a moment's notice. "Captain," reported Tactical Officer Seiler, "we are within striking range of the Kethlan command hub. Sensors show increased activity, but no direct aggression." Yet, Kyle's lips curved in a grim smile. "Good. Let them gather their forces. The longer they wait, the more mistakes they make." In the silence that followed, Kyle allowed herself a brief moment of reflection. The galaxy had treated Earth as a footnote, a primitive backwater to be ignored or exploited. But that was the illusion they would shatter. "We don't just fight to survive," she whispered. "We fight to be remembered." Suddenly, the ship's sensors flared with activity. A swarm of hostile fighters emerged from hidden hangars on Kethlan Prime, racing toward the Aegis. "Hostile contact," warned Seiler. "They're launching everything they have." Kyle's voice was steel. Deploy countermeasures. Ready the disruptors. Let them learn what it means to awaken Earth's wrath. A fierce battle erupted in the cold void. Plasma bolts streaked past the battleship's shields, but the Aegis held firm. Its cloaked drones darted forward, intercepting missile barrages and neutralizing enemy fighters with lethal precision. The alien swarm faltered as the battleship unleashed quantum disruptors, pulses of energy that tore through ship systems, leaving them dark and adrift. From the viewpoint, Kyle watched the carnage with cold detachment. Each destroyed vessel was a message, a warning to the galaxy. They believed us weak, she said quietly. They were wrong. The battle ended almost as suddenly as it began. Alien survivors retreated, their command networks shattered, and fleet cohesion broken. The once proud Kethlan Armada lay crippled, back on the Aegis. The crew moved swiftly to assess damage and prepare for the next move. Admiral Vrin's flagship is crippled, reported Dax. Their fleets are in disarray, but this will only enrage them. Kyle nodded. Good, let them rage. Anger blinds. She keyed the comms channel and sent a message to the fractured council. A simple broadcast that echoed across the void. This is Earth. We offer no peace to those who threaten us. Stand down or be swept into the tides of history. The broadcast sent shockwaves through the alien worlds. The galaxy trembled at the boldness of the human message, a declaration not of diplomacy, but of dominance. In the council chambers, outrage mixed with fear. Some advocated for immediate retaliation. Others whispered of secret negotiations behind closed doors. But one truth was clear. Earth had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. In the aftermath, Kale stood once more before the viewport, staring into the starry abyss. The Aegis was no longer just a battleship. It was a symbol of a species pushed to the edge, rising from the ashes to claim its place among the stars. Let them come, she said softly. We are ready. And with that, the battleship surged forward, deeper into the unknown, carrying with it the fate of humanity and the galaxy itself. The galaxy was ablaze with rumors and fear. From the distant glass spires of the Sarthak Dominion to the biocrystal courts of the Vexar Syndicate, every major power scrambled to decipher the true nature of Earth's might. The Aegis was no longer simply a ship. It was a riddle wrapped in shadows, a myth reborn as a harbinger of chaos. On board the Aegis, Captain Sienna Kale studied her tactical display as the starfield slid past at cruising speed. The warship's advanced quantum cloaking had rendered it effectively invisible to enemy sensors, an unseen predator stalking through hostile territory. Lieutenant Commander Dax hovered nearby, fingers dancing over his console. Our interference. Fields are holding steady. Enemy sensor networks remain blind. Kyle's eyes narrowed. Good. Their confusion is our advantage. Let them scramble blindly while we dictate the terms. The truth was, humanity's technology was a step beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. But it was not just the tech. It was the philosophy behind it. Humanity fought with adaptation and cunning, evolving faster than any alien foe could anticipate. The battlefield was a living puzzle, and Earth's warriors were master solvers. At the command center of the Krashen fleet, Admiral Zorval stared at the flickering holographic map, his claws tapping impatiently. His fleet had suffered devastating losses, crippled by the Aegis's electronic warfare. The humans have broken our systems, he growled. Our weapons are disabled. Our fleets are blind. One of his advisors, a nervous Xyrillian named Fan, whispered, They must have acquired forbidden technology, Admiral. Something ancient or alien. Zorval's eyes burned with rage. Or something far worse. Earth is not a primitive backwater. They are an apex predator hiding beneath. A mask of ignorance. He slammed his fist against the console. We must strike back before they unravel us completely. But Zorval's fleet was crippled and scattered. The Aegis moved with ghost-like grace, infiltrating enemy lines and dismantling their command structures with surgical strikes. Kyle watched as her ship released a swarm of stealth drones, each armed with micropulse disruptors designed to sever enemy communications without causing widespread destruction. "We fight their network," Kyle explained to Dax. "Disable their eyes and ears, and the body becomes useless." The drones slipped past asteroid fields and nebulae, infiltrating enemy cruisers and corvettes. Systems failed, weapons went dark, and entire formations dissolved into chaos. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council's halls buzzed with paranoia. Members turned on each other, suspecting espionage and sabotage. Secret meetings behind closed doors sparked rumors of traitors aiding Earth's rise. Councillor Mirthia whispered to Vryn in a secluded chamber, "We cannot trust our own. If the humans have infiltrated us, then our downfall is inevitable." Vryn's eyes flickered with a cold fire. "We will root out the traitors and crush them, but the greater threat remains, Earth's silent hand." Back on the Aegis, Kale's voice cut through the quiet hum of the ship. "Our enemy thrives on complacency. We must be relentless." Dax glanced at her, concern in his eyes. "There are whispers from our intelligence. Alien factions are forming coalitions to hunt us down. They plan a coordinated strike." Kyle's jaw tightened. "Let them come. We will be ready." As the days passed, the Aegis launched a series of offensive strikes targeting key enemy infrastructure. Supply lines were severed, communication hubs destroyed, and warships crippled. But humanity did not fight with blind fury. Instead, Kale broadcast messages of warning and measured mercy to civilian colonies, seeking to minimize collateral damage. The message was clear. Earth sought dominance, not wanton destruction. In the midst of this, strange new technologies emerged from Earth's vaults: experimental weaponry, harnessing gravitational waves, nano-swarm projectiles, and adaptive shields that healed themselves mid-battle. Alien scientists marveled at the fusion of biology and machine, the symbiotic integration of human and technology that defied their cold logic. "The humans fight with spirit as well as steel," muttered a Vexar engineer. "It is not just machines, it is a new evolution." The galaxy's old myths of human savagery clashed with the undeniable brilliance of their strategy. Were these monsters or masters? As Kyle prepared for the next engagement, she reflected on the path that had brought them here. Centuries of survival on a harsh, unforgiving world had forged humanity into something the galaxy had never anticipated. "We are not the underdogs," she said quietly. "We are the storm." The looming coalition of alien fleets began to gather, a desperate attempt to crush Earth before it could grow stronger. Across the void, whispers spread of a final, all-out assault, a battle that would determine the fate of the galaxy. Kale stood on the command deck, eyes blazing with resolve. "We have survived worse. Let them bring their full might." The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the storm to break. The galaxy's once fragmented voices coalesced into a thunderous chorus of fear and desperation. The Council, fractured by infighting and whispers of betrayal, now faced an unyielding threat that could no longer be ignored. Earth's battleship, the Aegis, had shattered the illusion of invincibility held by the great alien powers. Admiral Vryn stood before his war council in the darkened command chamber of the Zarthak flagship Dreadspire. The room was thick with tension. Every officer's eyes betrayed a cocktail of dread and fury. "We face extinction if we do not act now." Vryn's voice cut through the murmur like a blade. "The humans have exposed our weaknesses and divided. Our forces, our fleets are scattered, our communications in ruins. The grand strategy was simple yet desperate, to bring the full might of the galaxy's fleets into a coordinated strike against Earth's warship. This must be the final blow. Vryn declared. Strike fast, strike hard, and leave no survivors. Elsewhere, across the expanse, fleets of alien warships surged toward a common point deep in the Kethlan system, a trap set to end humanity's uprising before it could spread. On board the Aegis, Captain Kale anticipated the storm. Her eyes scanned tactical displays, mapping the converging fleets with a strategist's precision. They come, she said quietly, all their desperation in one place. Her voice carried weight, inspiring a crew that had seen horrors most could not imagine and emerged unbroken. Lieutenant Commander Dax responded, We've prepared for this. Our shields are reinforced, our weapons primed. They will not take us by surprise. The battle that erupted was unlike any the galaxy had witnessed in centuries. Fleets clashed with brutal ferocity, plasma lances tore through the void, missiles streaked like deadly comets, and starships danced a deadly ballet of destruction. Yet amidst the chaos, the Aegis remained a ghost, elusive and lethal. Its quantum cloak flickered, shifting like a phantom through the enemy lines. Gale orchestrated the battle with cold efficiency, deploying swarms of drones that acted as both shield and spear, intercepting incoming fire and striking at vulnerable points in enemy formations. Target the command vessels, she ordered. Disrupt their leadership, and the rest will falter. The first strike was devastating. Using newly developed gravity wave projectors, the Aegis created localized distortions that ripped apart the enemy flagship's hull, sending shockwaves that shattered nearby vessels. Alien admirals watched in horror as their command centers exploded in brilliant firestorms. Communications blacked out, and fleet coordination crumbled. Amidst the confusion, the human warship pressed its advantage, launching precision strikes that crippled supply lines and disabled weapon systems. Despite heavy losses, the alien fleets fought with desperate valor. Boarding parties attempted to breach the Aegis, deploying swarms of bioengineered combatants. The battleship's defenses, however, were unmatched. Automated turrets and defensive drones repelled the invaders, while the crew fought with a savage efficiency born of countless battles on Earth's hostile worlds. Kale's voice rang out over the comms, calm and commanding. Hold the line. Every second we survive breaks their will. The battle stretched on, a symphony of destruction and survival. The Aegis sustained damage, but its adaptive shields regenerated faster than alien weapons could breach. As the conflict wore on, the galaxy watched with growing disbelief, a single human battleship holding off entire armadas. Within the council chambers, panic turned to despair. Councillor Mirathea addressed the assembly, her voice heavy with defeat. The humans are not just warriors, she said. They are architects of annihilation. This battle is lost. The tide shifted decisively when the Aegis unleashed a new weapon. A concentrated pulse of quantum energy that cascaded through enemy lines, disabling engines and weaponry alike. Ships drifted helplessly, caught in a technological dead zone, as the Aegis picked them off one by one. In the aftermath, Vryn's forces were fractured and broken. Retreat was ordered, but the damage was irreversible. The coalition was shattered, its grip on the galaxy, slipping through its claws. Back aboard the Aegis, Kyle allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. The cost had been high, lives lost, systems damaged, but the message was clear. Humanity's rise was unstoppable. Today, we change the course of history, she said softly to her officers. Lieutenant Commander Dax nodded solemnly. And the galaxy will never forget it. The Aegis powered down its weapons and activated long-range comms. A broadcast was sent, a declaration of warning and power. This war is not over. We fight not to conquer, but to survive. Cease your attacks, or be consumed by the storm you have awakened. The message rippled through star systems, a chilling echo that resonated far beyond the battlefield. In the dark corners of the galaxy, a new respect and fear for humanity took root. The legends of Earth's fury were no longer stories told to scare children. They were warnings etched in the minds of every commander, every citizen. Captain Kale stood at the forefront of a new era, the harbinger of a future shaped by a species that refused to be ignored. "The galaxy thought us weak," she said, voice low and unwavering. They were wrong, and with that, the Aegis disappeared once more into the void, a silent guardian ready for the challenges yet to come. The galaxy's tapestry was unraveling, threads of power shifting beneath the weight of Earth's relentless advance. What had begun as isolated skirmishes now sparked political earthquakes among the great alien houses and factions. The old order, built on centuries of dominance and manipulation, trembled under the emergence of a new force: humanity. Inside the war room of the Sarcastic Dominion, Lord Varesh, a shrewd and calculating noble, studied intercepted transmissions. With narrowed eyes, "They have allies," he murmured to his council, "not just machines or mercenaries, but beings from within our own ranks, dissidents, rebels, those cast aside by the council's arrogance." Varesh's words sparked heated debate. Some saw this as a dangerous alliance that could fracture the fragile balance of power forever. Others whispered of a hidden hand, guiding the human ascent, pulling strings in the shadows. "The humans have sown discord," one advisor warned. "Their power grows not through brute force alone, but through cunning and subversion." Varesh nodded solemnly. "We must understand these alliances if we are to survive." Meanwhile, aboard the Aegis, Captain Kale convened a confidential briefing with her senior officers. The atmosphere was heavy, the stakes higher than ever. "Our reach extends beyond the battlefield," Kale began. "We have allies, factions willing to stand with us against the corrupt council. They offer resources, intelligence, and refuge." "Lieutenant," Commander Dax frowned, "but such alliances carry risks. These factions may have agendas of their own." Kyle's gaze was steady. "We will navigate those waters carefully, but unity is our strength." A holographic display flickered to life, revealing a web of secret contacts, hidden colonies, and covert operatives working within enemy systems. "We strike not only with weapons, but with influence," Kyle said. "Our next moves will reshape the galaxy's political landscape. Deeper within Earth's vaults, beneath the layers of hardened steel and reinforced concrete, lay a secret weapon unlike any the galaxy had seen. A fusion of advanced technology and human ingenuity born from centuries of hardship and innovation. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, weaving biological and mechanical elements into a seamless whole. The weapon pulsed with latent energy, capable of disrupting entire star systems or shielding entire fleets. "This is more than a weapon," one scientist explained to Kale during a rare inspection. "It's a force multiplier, a legacy of Earth's resilience and creativity." Kale's eyes gleamed with quiet pride. "It's the edge the galaxy will never see coming." The alien aristocracy, long perched atop pillars of pride and tradition, now found themselves on unstable ground. The knowledge that Earth had secured allies from within their own fractured societies sent ripples of paranoia through their ranks. Secret councils convened, debating how to respond. Some called for reconciliation, others for ruthless purges. Counselor Myrthia addressed the assembly with icy resolve. "If we cannot unite against this threat, we will be torn apart. The humans wield not only technology, but influence. We must adapt, or perish." But adaptation was slow in the face of deep-seated mistrust and ancient grudges. Back on the Aegis, Kale prepared for the next phase of her campaign. The battleship's new secret weapon was nearly ready for deployment, a symbol of Earth's determination to not only survive, but dominate. "Prepare the systems," Kyle ordered. "We will show the galaxy the true meaning of power." Her crew moved with practiced efficiency, aware that each moment brought them closer to a pivotal Confrontation that would define the era across the stars. As Earth's influence spread like wildfire, whispers of revolution and rebellion grew louder. Dissident factions within alien empires rose in secret, inspired by humanity's boldness and vision. "We have been shackled too long," one rebel leader declared in a hidden broadcast. "Earth offers a path to freedom, to a new order where strength is earned, not inherited." The message resonated with many who had long suffered under the oppressive weight of the Council's rule. Kyle's next move was both strategic and symbolic. The Aegis approached the orbit of Vexar Prime, a key world under the Syndicate's control, known for its political intrigue and technological prowess. Sending a message to the planet's ruling elite, Kyle demanded a choice: join Earth's coalition or face obliteration. The response was defiant silence, a refusal masked by veiled threats and diplomatic posturing. The Aegis did not wait. In a dazzling display of power, the battleship deployed its secret weapon, a concentrated pulse of quantum energy that disabled the planet's orbital defenses and communications. The Syndicate's fleets scrambled to respond, but found themselves blind and crippled. Kale's voice echoed across open channels, firm and uncompromising. "The choice is yours. Align with Earth's vision, or be left behind in the ashes of history." Vexar Prime's leaders scrambled to negotiate, but the tide had turned. The planet's elite knew that Earth's arrival was not a fleeting threat, but a permanent upheaval. Across the galaxy, the political landscape shifted, alliances broken and forged. Anew, Earth's battleship had become a beacon for those seeking change and a scourge to those clinging to the old ways. In the quiet moments between battles, Kyle pondered the road ahead. The weight of responsibility rested heavily on her shoulders, to lead humanity not only in war, but in forging a new galactic order. "We are more than soldiers," she told her officers. "We are architects of the future." Her gaze swept across the bridge, landing on the crew, hardened, loyal, and ready. The galaxy will remember this moment. The moment Earth ceased to be a myth and became a legend. As the Aegis disappeared once more into the star-studded void, the echoes of its power reverberated through the halls of alien courts and rebel strongholds alike. Humanity's rise was no longer a question of if, but when. The future belonged to those bold enough to seize it. The void was alive with whispers of an impending reckoning. Across fractured star systems, covert transmissions crackled with warnings and rallying cries alike. The galaxy's disparate factions trembled on the edge of upheaval, their fragile alliances strained to breaking. But for the Aegis and her crew, the focus was unyielding, survival and dominance in a war that had already rewritten the rules of engagement. The alert sounded suddenly, piercing the calm aboard the battleship. "Hostile fighters incoming. Multiple vectors," Tactical Officer Scylla announced, her fingers flying over the controls as the sensors blared warnings. Captain Kale's eyes sharpened. "Battle stations, deploy countermeasures and prepare for boarding defense." The space around the Aegis erupted in flashes of light and energy as swarms of alien fighters burst from hidden hangars on Kethlan Prime, their plasma lances and missiles streaking toward the human vessel like deadly swarms of hornets. Desakidasu, Aegis defensive drones sprang to life, weaving intricate patterns of interception. Missiles were shattered mid-flight by micro-missile bursts, energy pulses deflected by adaptive shields. The battleship's hull thrummed with power as energy cascaded through reinforced layers, absorbing and dispersing enemy fire. Yet the enemy was relentless. Small boarding pods launched, streaking toward the ship's surface, their dark silhouettes cutting against the backdrop of stars. "Boarders incoming! Sectors 7 and 9, warned Scylla. Kale's voice was calm but unyielding. "Seal bulkheads and activate point defense turrets." Send security teams to repel boarding parties. Within the hull, the corridors became a battlefield of their own. Alien combatants, bioengineered for vicious close-quarters combat, clashed with humanity's finest, soldiers honed by years of harsh planetary conflicts and space combat. Lieutenant Commander Dax led counter-assault squads with precision, orchestrating movements that turned the tide of each skirmish. "Hold the line," he shouted, his voice cutting through the cacophony of battle. "Every second counts." The airlocks and corridors echoed with the sharp cracks of pulse rifles, the roar of energy blades, and the shouts of determination. Despite the ferocity of the assault, the Aegis crew was prepared. Automated turrets and defensive drones swept corridors, eliminating boarding parties before they could gain footholds. Medical teams worked tirelessly, tending to the wounded as the ship's systems rerouted power to critical sectors, maintaining integrity despite localized damage. Kale moved through the command deck with a steady hand, coordinating defenses and strategizing countermeasures with surgical precision. "Our survival depends on unity and adaptation," she told her officers. "The enemy tests us, so we must evolve." As the battle raged, the Aegis engineers activated experimental nanobot swarms, microscopic machines programmed to repair hull breaches and neutralize bioorganic threats within seconds. The nanobots glimmered like swarms of fireflies in emergency lighting, repairing damaged conduits and purging toxins from the air. "This technology turns the tide," Kyle remarked. "We heal as fast as we fight." Outside, the alien fighters began to falter, their electronic systems jammed, their coordinated strikes broken by the Aegis's relentless countermeasures. Within minutes, the enemy retreat was ordered, the once vicious assault reduced to a disorganized withdrawal. Kyle watched the aftermath with a mixture of satisfaction and solemnity. The price had been steep, casualties and damage weighed heavy, but the Aegis had endured. In the enemy's retreat, whispers of disbelief spread. The primitive humans had repelled a concentrated strike that might have crippled lesser fleets. Among alien warlords and strategists, paranoia grew like wildfire. Old rivalries dissolved under suspicion and fear. Who had leaked information? Were there traitors in their midst? Counselor Mirithia convened a secret session with the most trusted commanders. "We cannot withstand another assault like this," she warned. "Earth fights not just with weapons, but with resolve and unyielding unity." Her voice was icy. "Our divisions will be our undoing." Back aboard the Aegis, Kale prepared for the next phase. The battle had tested humanity's resolve, but it had also revealed vulnerabilities, lessons to be learned, and weaknesses to be fortified. "Strength grows from challenge," she told her officers. "We will be stronger next time." Dax nodded. "The enemy underestimated us once. They will not make that mistake again." Kyle's gaze hardened. "Then we will be ready." Meanwhile, in the shadows beyond known space, new sensors flickered to life. An unknown anomaly approached, a ripple in space-time, a herald of challenges yet unseen. The Aegis sensors detected it faintly, but the true nature of the threat remained a mystery. Kale's voice was steady, despite the uncertainty. "The galaxy changes. We must be vigilant, for enemies, allies, and unknowns alike." The future was unwritten, and humanity stood at its precipice, ready to shape it with fire and steel. The Aegis slipped through the cold darkness of the asteroid belt, orbiting the shattered world of Marak Prime. Captain Sienna Kale stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the myriad points of light that flickered on the tactical displays, each representing a target in the vast web of alien infrastructure poised to choke humanity's advance. "We strike at their heart," Kyle declared, her voice steady and resolute. "Communications, supply chains, energy nodes. Without these, their fleets fall into chaos." Lieutenant Commander Dax tapped a series of commands, and the holographic map zoomed in on a sprawling cluster of orbiting stations. network hubs essential to the Syndicate's grip on several star systems, targeting orbital arrays around Vexar Prime, Dax reported. These arrays control planetary defense systems and starship deployments. As the Aegis approached, a low hum began to resonate through the hull, an indicator of the battleship's new weapon systems coming online. These were not mere missiles or lasers, but complex quantum disruption fields and swarm drones designed to cripple electronic and mechanical systems without unnecessary destruction. Kyle surveyed the preparations, a faint hint of a smile playing at her lips. "Mercy is a weapon as sharp as any blade," she murmured. "We dismantle their power, not their people." Outside the viewport, the Aegis released hundreds of sleek drones that darted into the void like a swarm of predatory insects. Each drone was equipped with EMP bursts and quantum hacking modules, capable of infiltrating enemy systems and rendering them useless in moments. The orbital defense platforms reacted, firing concentrated beams of plasma and ion bursts. But the drones were agile and numerous, dodging lethal strikes with ease. Back on the command bridge of the largest orbital station, panic flared as screens went dark and communication lines failed. Alien officers shouted orders that went unanswered. As their systems sputtered and failed. "Systems offline! Defense turrets unresponsive!" one screamed. A desperate attempt to manually override the lockdown was met with dead silence. The orbital arrays had been rendered inert. Kel's voice cut through the comms, broadcasting in the universal language of command. "This is Earth. We offer you a choice. Surrender your hold on these systems and join our coalition, or face complete annihilation." The message was met with silence, but the effect was immediate. Enemy fleets struggled to organize, hampered by the loss of command and control. Amidst the destruction, a transmission leaked through the chaos, a message from a syndicate scientist to a shadowy faction within the Council. "Their technology is unlike anything we've seen. The humans have mastered fusion of biology and machine at an unprecedented level. This is no longer a war of ships, it is a war of evolution." The words sent shockwaves through alien intelligence networks. Meanwhile, the Aegis maintained a calculated distance, refusing to escalate to total planetary bombardment. Kyle understood that crushing the enemy infrastructure was necessary. But indiscriminate destruction would only breed hatred and resistance. Her commanders respected the balance. This was war, yes, but also a message of what humanity could offer, order born of strength and mercy. As the Aegis completed its strike, a new transmission arrived, a fragmented distress call from an alien colony ravaged by internal rebellion. It was clear that Earth's expanding influence had sparked fractures across many societies. Kyle convened her officers. "We are not only warriors," she said. "We are the architects of the new galaxy." The battleship's communications officers dispatched envoys, encrypted and secure, inviting alien leaders willing to rebuild and cooperate to join Earth's coalition. "The future belongs to those who build," Kyle emphasized. "Destruction is the last step, not the first." Back in the Syndicate's courts, the political elite were torn. Some saw Earth's rise as an opportunity, a chance to shed corrupt traditions and seize new power. Others feared the loss of control and plotted in dark corners. The galaxy was shifting beneath their feet, and no one could predict where it would land. Kyle's eyes drifted to the stars beyond the viewport, the endless black dotted with possibilities and threats alike. "This war is not just about survival," she said softly. "It's about what comes after. A new dawn forged by those brave enough to claim it." With that, the Aegis vanished once more into the cosmic night, a silent guardian and unstoppable force. The Aegis hummed with quiet power as it pierced the dark veil of the Nebula of Ashes, a chaotic region of space where once proud empires had fallen to ruin and betrayal. This was no place for hesitation. Here, survival demanded ruthless precision and unwavering resolve. Captain Sienna Kale stood at the helm, her gaze unwavering as the fleet's sensors blinked furiously, scanning for threats hidden in the swirling gas and scattered debris. Coalition fleets have been detected converging on our position, Tactical Officer Sela reported, her voice steady despite the tension that gripped the bridge. Kale's expression hardened. They intend to crush us here. Prepare for full engagement. Lieutenant Commander Dax activated the ship's defense grid. Shields at maximum, all weapon systems online and primed. From every direction, alien warships emerged like phantoms, a vast armada bound by desperation and fear. They came in waves, plasma cannons blazing, missile barrages lighting up. The dark void, but the Aegis was ready. Its quantum cloaking flickered, and the ship shifted like a spectre between positions, evading fire with uncanny agility. Kale's voice cut through the roar of battle. Focus fire on command vessels, disrupt their coordination, and the rest will falter. The battle unfolded as a brutal ballet of death and survival. The Aegis deployed swarms of autonomous drones that darted through the chaos, intercepting enemy missiles and sabotaging critical systems. Energy cascaded in deadly arcs as gravitational wave cannons tore into enemy hulls, while adaptive shields absorbed and reformed under sustained fire. Despite the overwhelming odds, humanity's warship held firm, a bastion of relentless determination. Alien admirals watched in disbelief as their fleets faltered. Communications broke down, strategies crumbled, and fear took root where arrogance had once flourished. "This is madness," growled Admiral Zorval, watching as flagship after flagship was crippled. "They are not just fighting, they are evolving." Aboard the Aegis, Kyle surveyed the battlefield with unshakable calm. Each loss, each hit taken, only steeled her resolve. "We adapt," she told her officers. "We survive, we win." Dax nodded, managing damage control teams as they worked tirelessly to repair breaches and restore systems. The tide turned decisively when the Aegis unleashed its experimental weapon, a pulse of quantum energy that cascaded through enemy lines, scrambling engines, weapon systems, and navigation arrays. Ships drifted helplessly, caught in a web of technological silence. The once mighty armada was reduced to scattered fragments, easy prey for the swift counterattack. The galaxy held its breath as news of the battle spread. A single human battleship had shattered a coalition fleet many times its size. Whispers grew into legends, tales of a species that fought with the fury of storms and the cunning of shadows. Councillor Mirathia's voice was grim as she addressed the council. "The era of human dominance has begun. We must either adapt or be swept aside." In the aftermath, the Aegis sustained damage but remained battle-ready. Kyle allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. "This victory is a beacon," she said, softly, "but also a warning. The galaxy will not submit easily." Her officers listened, knowing the road ahead would be fraught with challenges unseen and sacrifices untold. Beyond the battle's horizon, a new anomaly stirred, an unknown presence watching, waiting. The Aegis's sensors flickered with faint signals, enigmatic and foreboding. Kale's eyes narrowed. The galaxy is changing, and so must we. The war was far from over, but humanity's legend was now etched in the stars forever. The aftermath of the Nebula of Ashes battle rippled across the galaxy like a seismic shockwave. Alien governments quaked as news of Earth's triumph spread, forcing reluctant leaders to reconsider their positions. Many scrambled to negotiate, others prepared for rebellion within their own ranks. The Aegis became more than a warship. It was a symbol of unstoppable change and the promise of a new order. In the shattered council halls of the Sarthak Dominion, Lord Varesh sat among weary generals and diplomats, debating terms for an uneasy truce. The once mighty empire was fractured, its fleets scattered and morale shattered. "We must negotiate," Varesh urged. "Resistance is futile. Earth has proven its supremacy." Across the room, dissenters muttered about betrayal and dishonor. Yet the weight of reality crushed their defiance. "The galaxy is not what it was," Varesh concluded. "We face a new dawn, whether we like it or not." Meanwhile, aboard the Aegis, Captain Kyle oversaw efforts to extend humanity's influence. Beyond mere conquest, the ship had transformed into a moving embassy, a platform for diplomacy and reconstruction as much as war. "Power is meaningless without stability," Kyle told her officers. "We must build alliances, foster peace where we can, and crush rebellion where we must." Lieutenant Commander Dax studied reports from recent envoy missions. "Some factions welcome us, seeking protection and prosperity. Others remain hostile, unwilling to accept the new order." Kyle nodded. "We will meet hostility with strength and cooperation with respect." Across numerous star systems, Earth's coalition began to take shape. Former enemies joined under the banner of a shared future, attracted by the promise of security and opportunity. But dark shadows lingered. Rogue factions and splinter groups continued to resist, driven by pride, fear, or hatred. Kale understood that true victory required more than weapons. It demanded hearts and minds. In one remote sector, an alien rebellion flared. Former Council loyalists seized control of a mining world, rich in rare resources essential to Earth's war effort. The Aegis dispatched rapid response teams, combining military precision with efforts to minimize civilian harm. "Let them see we fight for justice, not domination," Kyle ordered. "Our cause must be seen as righteous." As the battleship led reconstruction and peacekeeping efforts, alien scientists worked alongside human engineers to meld technologies and cultures. The fusion of Earth's biomechanical innovations with alien systems sparked breakthroughs that promised to reshape the galaxy's future. Yet beneath the surface, whispers of unease persisted. Some questioned whether humanity's influence would become another form of tyranny. In the ship's quiet corridors, Kyle met with her closest advisors. "The galaxy watches us," she said. "They expect leadership. We must not falter." Her eyes reflected the weight of responsibility. "But we must also remain vigilant. Old enemies will rise, and new threats will emerge." Beyond known space, mysterious signals pulsed faintly, hinting at forces yet unseen. The Aegis's sensors detected anomalies that defied current understanding, echoes of civilizations lost to time or entities beyond comprehension. Kyle's voice was calm but resolute. "The galaxy is vast and full of secrets. We must prepare for whatever lies ahead." The future was uncertain, but one truth was clear. Humanity's legend had been etched into the fabric of the stars. The Aegis was no longer just a battleship. It was a beacon of hope, power, and transformation, the cornerstone of a new galactic era. The galaxy's fragile peace was shattered in an instant. A rogue faction, emboldened by desperation and defiance, launched surprise assaults on border worlds, igniting fires that threatened to consume the tentative alliances Earth had forged. The Aegis was quick to respond. Captain Kale's voice cut through the ship's command deck with razor-sharp authority. "Prepare rapid deployment teams. Target hostile installations with precision strikes. Minimize civilian casualties, Lieutenant." Commander Dax nodded, coordinating the activation of advanced terraforming drones and peacekeeping sentinels, technologies born of Earth's vision for reconstruction and defense. The strikes were surgical, designed to neutralize threats without igniting wider conflict. The Aegis's new weapons harnessed gravitational manipulation and healing nanobots, capable of dismantling enemy fortifications and restoring damaged ecosystems alike. Across the battlegrounds, human and alien engineers worked side by side, rebuilding what had been destroyed while neutralizing lingering threats. Kyle's message echoed across occupied systems. We defend what we build. We do not forget. In the council chambers, old rivalries gave way to grudging respect. Alien leaders acknowledged the futility of endless war against a force that combined strength with mercy. Yet suspicion lingered like a shadow. Some feared Earth's technologies might one day be used to dominate rather than protect. Kyle understood these fears. Power demands responsibility, she told her advisors. We wield it carefully, for the future of all. But beneath the surface, darker threats stirred. Whispers of sabotage and espionage reached the Aegis intelligence officers. Hidden enemies sought to undermine the fragile peace, exploiting fears and mistrust. Kale convened her security chiefs. We must root out these shadows before they grow. The crew redoubled efforts to safeguard information and personnel, recognizing that the greatest threats were not always the ones seen in battle. Meanwhile, the fusion of human and alien technology accelerated. Terraforming drones reshaped barren planets, healing nanobots restored life to devastated worlds, and peacekeeping sentinels patrolled borders to deter aggression. The Aegis became a symbol not just of war, but of hope and renewal, a living testament to what humanity could build from the ashes of conflict. Yet Kale remained vigilant. The galaxy's vast unknown loomed ahead, filled with mysteries and dangers beyond current understanding. Sensors picked up faint, irregular signals from beyond the outer rims, distortions that defied explanation, hinting at ancient forces or alien intelligences yet to reveal themselves. The future is a challenge we must meet head-on, Kyle said, eyes steely with determination. Our journey has only just begun. As the Aegis sailed forward, forging new alliances and defending the fragile peace, humanity's legend continued to grow. A story of resilience, power, and hope etched across the stars. The galaxy was watching, and Earth was ready. The quiet hum of the Aegis's engines was a stark contrast to the turmoil simmering in the galaxy beyond. As the battleship led the charge in reconstruction and coalition building, deeper secrets and mysteries began to surface. Whispers of ancient technologies, hidden agendas, and the true depth of humanity's power. Captain Sienna Kale stood in the ship's research bay, flanked by alien scientists and human engineers working in uneasy harmony. Their task was monumental: to meld disparate technologies into new, unimaginable forms. Fusion of biology and machine is the key, explained Dr. Varric, a Vexarian xenobiologist, his voice laced with awe. Humans have developed a symbiosis of flesh and technology that transcends our understanding. Kale nodded thoughtfully. This synergy is what makes us resilient and dangerous. Among the scientific breakthroughs was the discovery of a concealed subsystem deep within the Aegis's core technology, an enigmatic device buried within Earth's oldest relics, a secret weapon or gift no one yet fully understood. Its power was immense, capable of reshaping entire star systems, but it was cloaked in mystery and protected by layers of cryptic coding and ancient safeguards. Kyle convened a secret meeting with her most trusted advisors. This technology could change everything, she said quietly, but it could also destroy us if mishandled. The weight of responsibility settled over the room like a shadow. As the coalition expanded, old enemies reconsidered loyalties. Some who once fought fiercely against humanity now saw benefit in alliance, sharing intelligence and resources to strengthen the new order. Others remained wary, watching Earth's rising influence with suspicion. Rumors of hidden agendas fueled. Mistrust in diplomatic circles, threatening fragile peace. Kyle understood that winning hearts was as important as winning battles. In the corridors of power, political intrigue unfolded. Ambassadors negotiated alliances while spies lurked in shadows, seeking advantage. Every handshake concealed hidden calculations. The galaxy is a web of shifting loyalties, Kyle reflected. We must be both spider and fly. Meanwhile, the Aegis's sensors detected faint anomalies at the galaxy's edge, ripples in space-time hinting at phenomena beyond current science. The nature of these signals was unknown but ominous. Kyle's voice was steady as she addressed her crew. Prepare for the unexpected. The universe holds many secrets, and not all are friendly. The ship moved forward, ready to face new challenges with unyielding resolve. As the stars passed by, the legend of Earth grew, an epic of survival, adaptation, and quiet power. The galaxy watched, waiting to see what this mysterious species would do next. The future was uncertain, but one truth remained. Humanity was no longer the galaxy's forgotten myth. It was its greatest hope, or its most terrifying threat. The Aegis glided silently through the outer reaches of known space, its sensors probing the darkness for signs of threat or opportunity. After years of relentless warfare, political upheaval, and uneasy alliances, humanity stood at the precipice of a new chapter, one that promised hope but shadowed with unknown dangers. Captain Sienna Kyle stood at the command deck, her gaze fixed on the swirling void beyond the viewport. The stars seemed to whisper of secrets yet to be uncovered, of challenges that would test even her steadfast crew. Sensor readings are picking up an anomaly, Tactical Officer Sila reported, voice steady but tinged with caution. Unknown. Origin. Energy signature unlike anything we've catalogued. Kyle's eyes narrowed. Prepare the ship for potential contact. Alert all departments. This could be the test we've been waiting for, or a threat that demands our full strength. The anomaly grew closer, a dark, twisting ripple in space-time, unlike the familiar phenomena of nebulae or black holes. It pulsed with an eerie, almost conscious energy. The Aegis instruments struggled to interpret its nature. Science Officer Dr. Lin approached Kyle with urgent data. Captain, preliminary scans suggest this may be a remnant of an ancient civilization, or possibly a gateway to a dimension beyond our understanding. The implications are profound. Kyle's jaw tightened. We must proceed with caution. This could change everything. As the Aegis moved nearer, a fleet of unknown vessels emerged. From the anomaly's heart, shapes unlike any alien design previously encountered. Sleek, organic, and seemingly alive, they moved with fluid grace and terrifying purpose. Unknown vessels approaching fast, Tactical Officer Sila warned. Weapons systems offline. They emit some kind of disruptive field. Kyle's calm. Voice commanded, raise shields and prepare for evasive maneuvers. Attempt communication. Static and eerie tones filled the communication channels, followed by a sudden, chilling transmission in an unfamiliar language, yet somehow understood by the ship's translation matrix. You are not welcome. Leave or be consumed. The Aegis's crew braced for battle as the alien ships advanced, but Kyle held firm. We are explorers and warriors, but we seek understanding before conflict. Respond accordingly. The response was silence, then a sudden barrage of energy beams that threatened to tear the Aegis apart. Shields holding but weakening, Sila shouted. We must retaliate. Kyle nodded. Return fire. Engage tactical protocols Delta 7. The battle was fierce and unlike any before. The Aegis faced adversaries who seemed to manipulate space itself, bending light and gravity in ways that defied human science. Yet humanity's resilience shone. Through quick adaptation and unyielding resolve, the crew pushed back, exploiting, Subtle weaknesses in the alien assault. Keep fighting, Kyle urged. Our survival depends on it. Amid the chaos, a breakthrough. The alien command ship sent a single vessel forward, signaling a ceasefire. A voice, distorted but clear, echoed through the ship's comms. You have proven worthy. A new chapter begins. Kyle stared at the stars, breath steady despite the adrenaline. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders and dangers, but we face them together. As the battle faded, the Aegis sailed onward, a beacon of hope and strength. Humanity's legend was no longer confined to war or conquest. It was now a story of exploration, of unity, and of enduring spirit. Captain Kale looked to her crew. We have changed the fate of the stars. Our journey continues. The stars shimmered, the future unwritten, and Earth's battleship stood ready to face whatever the cosmos dared to throw its way. The legend had only just begun.